At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Step into the future of welding with the Miller Optex series of handheld laser welders. Lightning-fast travel speeds and small bead sizes nearly eliminate distortion. This cuts post-weld processing time to almost zero, boosting productivity up to 10 times. And with our 3-year warranty, you're covered. So you can focus on doing more and building more. Get the Miller Optex Laser Advantage now and transform the way you weld.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another deep dive. So today we're diving headfirst into a whole mess of keywords. And these keywords, they're all centered around, like the stock market tariffs, economic news, the stuff that's been making headlines. It's like we're peeking into the collective search history of the entire world, right?
Exactly.
Like, what is everybody trying to wrap their heads around in this crazy world of finance? And honestly, sometimes it feels like you need like a PhD in economics just to like even understand what's happening.
It can be a lot.
Day to day, right?
Absolutely. The financial world is incredibly complex, and when major events happen, it's only natural that people are going to look for clarity and context, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes these keywords so fascinating to me, because it's like a window right into the collective like anxieties and questions that we all have. And for instance, like we're seeing a ton of searches for major indexes, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, along with phrases like, Dow Jones today and stock market live. So what does that tell you about, like, what's the mood right now?
Well, the focus on today and live, that really suggests a sense of urgency, right? It seems like people are really hungry for those real-time updates.
Right.
And maybe even feeling a little anxious about potential volatility in the market. The stock market often reflects broader economic trends.
Right.
So it makes sense that people want to keep their finger on the pulse, especially if they're concerned about their own investments.
I'll admit I've been refreshing my portfolio app a little more than usual lately, too.
Sure.
And, it seems that a lot of this anxiety, it's tied to tariffs. We're seeing a huge spike in searches for tariffs. What are tariffs? Even more specific terms like Trump tariffs, the Canada and the Mexico tariffs. So clearly tariffs are on everyone's minds. But how do they actually connect to the stock market performance that everybody's so worried about?
Well, it's all about the potential impact. Tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods, and that can have a ripple effect throughout the whole economy. For example, if the U.S. imposes tariffs on goods from Canada,
Right.
those goods become more expensive for American consumers, and this could lead to decreased demand, potentially impacting the profits of companies involved in that trade, and ultimately influencing their stock valuations as well.
So it's like a chain reaction that starts with those tariffs.
Yeah.
And then it ends up hitting those companies and their stock prices down the line.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of specific countries, I noticed a lot of searches focused on Canada, Canada tariffs, Canadian tariffs, Trudeau, even just Canada news.
Yeah.
Why is Canada specifically such a hot topic in all of this?
Well, it is interesting, isn't it? Remember, Canada is the U.S.'s largest trading partner.
Right.
So any trade tensions between the two countries are inevitably going to grab attention. But what's particularly striking here is the sheer volume of searches. It suggests a heightened level of concern among Canadians themselves. Perhaps this is because certain Canadian industries are particularly vulnerable to U.S. tariffs.
Okay.
Or maybe it's simply that the Canadian economy is so closely intertwined with the U.S. that any fluctuations, south of the border are felt very acutely up north.
It's like everyone's looking across the border and wondering how these decisions are going to impact their neighbor.
Yeah.
And their own backyard, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not just about the economic side of things, is it? We're also seeing searches for specific figures and news sources. Trump, Trudeau, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, CBC News, AP News. It seems like everyone is looking for those trusted voices to help them navigate this whole complex situation.
Exactly. When uncertainty reigns, people naturally turn to familiar sources of information. They want to understand the potential implications of these economic shifts, and they're seeking guidance from those they perceive as knowledgeable and credible.
So if we zoom out and look at all these keywords together, What's the big takeaway here?
I think it speaks to a collective yearning for clarity in a time of economic uncertainty. People are grappling with the complexities of global trade and tariffs and their potential impact on everyday life. They're glued to the news, hungry for the latest updates, and just trying to make sense of it all.
It's almost like we're all collectively holding our breath, waiting to see how the pieces fall.
Right.
This deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about. But it leaves me wondering, with all this focus on live updates and minute-by-minute changes, are we maybe losing sight of the bigger picture?
That's a good question.
Are we getting too caught up in the daily fluctuations of the market and forgetting to look at the long-term trends and the forces that are at play? That's something to ponder as you continue to navigate this complex economic landscape. And until next time, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.